Good evening, guys. So today, we will be looking at lists. I know we've talked about lists a bit, but we never really went in depth. So today we're going to be going in depth into lists. I'm going to be using the PDF as a guide, so I don't forget any pointers or any key um, fundamental topics I'm going to be saying, speaking, and teaching about today. So now, to start, we already know what a list is. It's like I would say list of elements, but that will be using the same word to define it. So it's a group of elements basically, stored inside a particular variable. So let's create a list now called cities. So I'll just I'll say a list called cities, and if I want to make a list, we know how we make a list. Is square brackets, and then we can create some cities inside here like Alaska, London, London. I don't know if that's a city or I don't know. Patrick, Patrick. All right. We have three cities here, and let me say Lagos. So Lagos. So now, we have three cities inside this list, and we want to, to basically use this list to learn how lists work. So just like when we are working with strings, I told you that strings have something called methods. And what are methods? Methods are actions you can perform on a particular data type or a particular variable. So they're like functions in a way. So a list has those attributes too. So it's like an attribute of the list. It has methods that you can perform on a list on itself. So now we can do let's see. So a lot of methods. So to because you cannot really remember all the methods. So you can only just say let me spell this city very well. Let me just call it city. So if I do city and I put a dot, now it brings out all the methods of the list. So you have count, pop, index, remove, append, copy, sort, clear, extend, insert, reverse. Um, there are plenty of them. How many? Like how many? How many? How many? There are plenty. So yeah, there are a lot of them. You can perform methods. So how you know a method is to write m in front. This is a slot. This is a function. This is a method. Anyone with m in front is a method. Um, yeah. So okay. Now we want to see some of these methods, and play with them basically. So if we do list city, so I'll need to be able to print it out so that we can see the output. So I'll have to print something like city dot count, and if we run it, we should see. I'm not running the correct file. So if we run it, we should see. Okay, I need to specify an argument inside here. So what do I want to count? Well, I want to count how many times maybe Alaska came in here. But let me see. Count what Alaska. You should return one as the answer. One. So if I'm able to copy Alaska like twice, Control C and come here, put this guy, Control V. If I run it down, the answer should be returned to exactly. So Alaska appeared twice. Um, I can do city dot len and then print len city. Yes, and let's see what happens. Five. So it has how many? One, two, three, four, five elements inside it. So that's how you get the length of a city. Um, I can do city dot join. Let me see what city dot join would do to me. Let me see. So I can say I think city dot join. City dot join. Join what? No, I have to probably join with something. Another. Oh yes. I have to probably create. Let me see. So let me try it. Um, something called a delimiter. Let me just call it delim, and equate it to an empty string, a space, and then I'll come here and do print city dot join. No, it's not working now. Let me see. Delim dot join. Yeah, the delim dot join city. So what happened. I was able to basically turn this list into a string by using this join method on it. So what did I do here? I basically took this list, turned it into a string, and put a space between everything here. So I can change my delimiter to anything I want. I can make my delimiter this underscore. So what will happen here? You will see Alaska underscore underscore underscore. So there are a lot of things you can do with when it comes to the methods. All you need to do is just check it out and you basically just Google it or something, and you'll be able to get any method you want. Most for most things you want to perform, there's probably a method that can do it like join, update, insert. So if you want to add something to a city, so let me say state now. Let me say state, and I say maybe inside the state there's I want to add a state called you know, two or something. So I want to add this state to the city, so I can do city dot append what the name of that state. So I want to append state to it, right? So I can just come here and state here. So I can also just put this thing directly inside here if I want to, so it will work. So if I print city out, you will see that it has added the variable we just appended. So if I print it out, as you can see, it has added it to the end of the you know of the list. So what if you want to replace something in a list? You can actually also do that. And basically, most of the stuff you can perform on a string, you can perform on a list. So if I want to update a list, you just so I could append. If I want to replace an element, so I can say city, but I'll be using the what's it called? So city, what element am I trying to replace? I'm trying to replace the element at position 0, 1. So let me say position 2. I want to replace it with what equals to let me see run. Alright, let me run it now. And if I now come and out and print city, so print city for me, print city, you should see our results as yes. So yes, I've replaced 0, 1, 2 Patray. I've replaced it with gun. So that's how you replace things in a list. Let if I want to replace multiple stuff, so maybe from 2 and I say 2 to how many things are there? 0, 0, 2 to 3. Right? I'll have to specify two things now. So maybe I want to put gun and something else like yam or something. Yam. Let me put this inside the list. Okay, sorry, not the that's the dictionary. That's a set. Sorry. Okay, so let's see if it works. Exactly. So what did it do? Gone yam Lagos. So mundane, patry, Lagos. So it actually imputed the two of them. So it said you take gun and yam and put them in position 2 and position 3. So what happened is they removed patry and he shifted everything down. So he added yam there. So yeah, you can. That's how you can add things to a list. You can replace an element in a list. So with by doing it like this. What else can we do to this list? So show me how to update, how to that's append. Showed you how to. Okay, I've not showed you how to remove stuff. So I can delete stuff from a city. So I can say city dot. You can actually delete. So pop. So to delete, you use pop. So I can say city.pop. Or what do I want to? So I have to specify an index. So I want to pop whatever is in position 0, 1, 2, maybe position 3. And if I print it, whatever used to be there will go away. So yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3. Lagos has gone, has left the list. Yeah. So um, you can actually work around do it if there are a lot of workarounds you can do. So the fact that you use indexing to move through a list by using the indexing, you can find elements. You can do. Let's check something and see what will happen. Let's say print here. Print. Can we do city dot find? Let me see dot find. Even dot find. Okay. So but we can do this. We can say Alaska. Alright. So we want to check if Alaska is in city. So Alaska in city, and if we print it out, if it's there to print out true, if it's not there to print out false. So yeah, Alaska is in city. You see, so true. So you can check for stuff if Alaska is in city, and then all that kind of thing. So you can use this to know where an element appears in a loop. So if I'm looping through this city now and I say as you loop through, check for Alaska. If you find Alaska, find me, give me the index of Alaska, whatever it is, and then I'll use that index to perform an action and stuff like that. So I've showed you guys how to update, delete, um, this is append, what else? Okay, so how to also count a number of stuff in a list. You can also perform some mathematical operations. So if you have a list of numbers, so if your list is made of numbers, you can perform mathematical operations in it. So say we have a list here, and inside that list we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and maybe 4 again. So this type of list we can actually perform some operations like range. So we can say print range. Sorry, print range, and what's inside there will pass what? Pass city. So how do you say interpreted as an integer list object? List object cannot be interpreted as an integer. Hmm. How do it's kind of supposed to say city dot give me a second. All right, so the range function. So when we do range, it doesn't work because let me see, I cannot find the range of the whole list. So to find the range, the way we are going to approach it is we are going to first do city dot sum, right? So we'll find the sum of everything inside it. Sorry, not city dot sum, and then we'll pass city inside there, and we'll now divide it by len, and we'll pass city inside there too. So it will basically sum of the whatever is inside over the len. That's going to be the average. So range and average also they're called the same thing. So yeah, so this is basically it. So you can perform some mathematical operations with a list. And so you can use it to calculate your average. If you just get the list of the total number of all your results of all your like your all your scores in maybe all your exams you've written so far, you can put it in a list and you can find the average. Yeah, what else can we do? Yeah, okay. So I've showed you how to use a delimiter, I've showed you how to pop, I've showed you some mathematical operations on lists, I've showed you how to add, append, I've showed you how to cycle through lists using index numbers to pick an object and update it if you want, or just pick it and print it out. So now I'll show you how to slice a list. So how do you slice a list? So when you want to slice a list, basically you are trying to print out starting from those the same way we sliced strings. So I'll just put this as city, then I'll close this guy so so now when you want to slice a list, it's very very easy. All you need to do is I can create a new variable here called slice, right? And I can just say is equal to city and then open the square brackets and maybe starts from 0 dot dot sorry column 5. I think it's up to 5 elements. So when I print out slice here, it will give me all the elements starting from the what I specified. So we have a new list actually containing 0 to number 5. So it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It didn't include 5, stopped at 5. You get, that's how indexing works. So yeah, that's how you slice a list. That's how you can pick out stuff from a list. And I've showed you how to turn a list into a string by using the join method. And I've also showed you how to look for things inside the list by using like a simple statement. We say for if I in if something is in the list, print something out or something like that. I showed you guys how to do that too. Yeah. So what else do we need to cover when it comes to working with lists? Let me see if we've not covered everything already. Okay. So the next thing we need to go into, I think we've covered most of the simple theoretical stuff, is looping through lists. So we've done a bit of this before, but it's good to kill it and finish, deal with it properly. After lists, we look at dictionaries, and then we look at tuples and sets, and um, that will be it for most of the most common popular data types in Python. Then after that, since we've already done file handling, we will now we are going to go into OOP, or object-oriented programming. But before we even go into OOP, we will need to do some simple projects on what we've done so far. And after those simple projects, we now move to OOP and continue the training from there. So yeah, let me just finish up on the list. Today's class is a short one. So to loop through a list, we know you can use your for loop to loop through a list. So I'll just have to, let me just go back to where I had my list of numbers. All right, so I have a list of numbers. So I prefer a list of strings. All right, so yeah, and I had a list of strings. All right, now I have a list of strings called city. So I can say for each city, city in city. So let's just use I. For I in city, I want to perform some actions like let's say city dot. What do I want to do to it? What do I want to do? I want to append. No, not like append, but I can do pop. So I can do city dot pop I. So it will, well, I'm supposed to specify an index. So I would say city dot pop index I, because pop takes an index number. All right. So if I after this thing has run, if I print city, I should get an empty list. So just like you can see, it says this object cannot be interpreted as an integer, so I cannot do this. So let me say list of pop I. Let me see if it work like that. And let me show. It says for I in city, which is I will be Alaska, mundane. So city dot pop. Let me see what happens here. Sorry, city dot pop index. Oh wait, city dot pop. I want to pop. I want to remove that particular element. So let me see. I'll say city dot pop city dot index. Yeah, that's what I was going to do here. So index, then whatever I was there. So index I. All right, I think this should solve our problem. All right, so yeah. So I said, I'm surprised why you didn't delete everything completely. Sorry, my voice is, I don't know. So I said for I in city, city is Alaska, city dot pop, index of I, mundane and Lagos. I left these two, and I'm wondering why. It's supposed to empty the list. Let me see what happened. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do we have leftovers? I'm trying to understand what happened here for I in city. See the pop, see the index I. Oh yeah, so yeah, so we are taking index. So I'm guessing what happened is for I in city. So say for city it's Alaska. Um, Alaska is, so what is, it will be Alaska is index I. So that's index what? When I say city dot pop index Alaska, it will to remove Alaska. Then when I becomes mundane, the problem is after it has removed Alaska, the list shrinks, right? It shrinks down, and you have only mundane, Patry, Lagos, and Alaska again. So, um, I'm guessing what happened here is that since we are shrinking the list as we are moving, the index number skipped two elements in a way. So, let me try and go over it and explain it properly of like what actually happened. Right, so something very funny actually happened here. I didn't really expect it to happen, but it happened. So I expected so this is a kind of error. This is a semantic error whereby the code runs, but not it doesn't run exactly the way you expect it to run. So I was expecting it to remove everything from the list, but what happened is that it is actually an attribute of the for loop that the for loop in a way remembers the last place it was. So that's how it is able to loop through, you know. So what happens is this list is already indexed. This is already indexed already, so the Python already knows where everything is. So when I say for I in city, pop city.index I. So what happens the first time it comes, I is Alaska, it pops index Alaska is 0, right? It pops it out of the list. But after it has popped it out of the list, it doesn't really start the loop from the beginning. It continues the loop. So it knows, okay, the next thing I should be indexing is the second thing here, which is position index number 2, right? So when it comes to index number 2, when it wants to pop it checks the list and it finds out, but I mean, there is nothing else. Like, I've removed Alaska, so this actually is now my zero zero position. So to check, this is 0 1, you get, so sorry, this will become 0, right? So what it actually wants to pop now is whatever is in the first index position number 1, because it has popped 0. Then the next thing needs to pop is 1. But when it comes to pop 1, mundane has occupied the 0 position, so who will it pop? To pop Patry out. Patry leaves. When Patry leaves, you just have mundane, Lagos, and Alaska. So now it comes to pop position number 2, since there's no more Patry here. But Lagos is actually number 3 in the list. You get. So since the Patry is no more here, it wants to pop number 2. It will come and it will see Lagos as it's time to pop Lagos now. So instead of it to pop Lagos, it will pop Alaska, because check it. It's 0 1 2. It wants to pop number 2. Mundane is 0. It has popped Patry out already. Lagos is 1 and this is 2, so to pop Alaska. That's why we have Mundane and Lagos left in the list. So these are kind of this is like an algorithmic issue. It's not really, it's like algorithmic problem. It's kind of a bit advanced, not like super advanced, but you know. So yeah, that's you can cycle through lists like that. So let's not do this whole popping thing. Let's just find maybe so if you just say print city normally, and for I in city, you can just indent it like this in Word. Print the city out, it will give us. So what happened? You see what happened now. So for each city, print out the whole list. That's what we are basically telling this thing to do. So now if I wanted to print out only the individual city, what I'll do, I'll print out I, and when I hit the box, it should print out the get now. So look what it printed out. Print out the list. But when I said for I in city, print out city, to say when I is Alaska, print out city. When I is mundane, print out city. And city is the whole list. So yeah, that's how you can loop through city. So we can also check now. We can say for I in city, if I equals something, if I equals what, you can check for a particular string like mundane. If I equals mundane, you can now say print city dot index what I. So let's see if that will work. Index, sorry, index of I. I equal mundane. Hold on, should not be index I. I should print out the index of the number. Am I seeing an error? Oh, okay. Expected something. Sorry. All right. Now, that should solve our problem. What else is left? I didn't close this bracket. Okay. So hit the yeah. So it said index of I is 1. That's mundane. So now you see you can find things in a list. You can perform an action and look for something. You can also say, instead of this, you can also just say if um, for I in city, if mundane. Oh, you don't need that's not necessary. I wanted to say like if mundane in city, but already it won't showing the whole for I in city thing we're doing up here. So that's how you can look through your list. You can, you know, you can look through a list. I'll show you how to look a list. I'll show you how to update. So you can actually also update a list inside a loop. Let me look for a very practical example of how of updating a list inside a loop. To do that, we'll probably need to create like a counter this thing. So okay, for I in city, they'll say city dot append. All right, city dot append. All right, so we're going to append what now? I want to try something very weird, but let me see if it will work. City dot append input. This will work. Enter something here. All right. Let me hit enter. All right. So, all right, let's run this, and then let's after that, after we are done, we'll print out what you entered inside there. So print out what? Print out city. Okay. So let's see. I just think what's happening, so I can enter on like tire, goods, yeah, whatever. But look at the weird thing that is going to happen. This is an infinite loop because it will never end. Like it will never end. Honestly speaking, it will never end. I will never leave this for loop. The reason is because as I'm adding things to the list, I will never get to the end of this list because I said for I in city, for I in city dot append. So as I'm adding things to the list and I'm looping through the same list, I will never reach the end because for each time I'm moving, I'm adding something to this list. What I can do is I can break at some point. Maybe I can do this. I can say let me see for I in city dot append. I can say if I right if I is equal to stop now. Let me see. Let me put a stop. So stop. Now I can just say break. So I can break out of the for loop. So let's see if that works out. Stop and rerun. There's already something in this list, so let me see if if it will even catch up. That's what I want to check. So let me see. Stop. So it didn't work. It didn't catch up. So yeah. So it at some point it caught up to the stop. So it saw my stop and it exited the loop. Let me see. Let me check. Let me run this again and see if I can just enter. Yeah. So it doesn't end. It doesn't end. It doesn't ever end. Stop. It doesn't end. So yeah. Say if I equals stop. So I can. There are a lot of other ways to break out of this loop. Even though this is not something you ideally do ever. I've not really ever needed to do this kind of thing for INCT because it's going to get stuck in an endless loop. I was just trying to show you guys some weird ways you can or some things you can do inside a for loop with a list and some things you can play with. So with that, I think all you just need to do now is to explore a bit more, check out more methods on the list because I cannot cover all the methods in one video. It will be too long. Yeah, check out more methods and more things you can do, like more append, delete, pop, insert. What else? Let me try and remember. Which other one? Which other one? Yeah, there are plenty. So yes, so with that, I think we're already almost at the 30 minutes mark. So I think with that, we already covered a lot of all the basic concepts you need to know about how to handle a list. Um, yeah. So thank you very much for watching this video or joining the class. We really appreciate. And with that, I would like to say good day, everybody. Welcome.